Right. When it comes to AI, there is a lot of hype, and it's almost like everybody is racing towards what we can call as fear of missing out, right? So because there is such a big hype, everybody is like, hey, am I missing out something? Why is the world on fire about AI? But I'm not doing anything, or am I doing enough to take advantage of it, or am I going to be the only one missing out on the AI? Like you said, as the advisor, they are going to turn to you to explain, hey, Stefan, what am I missing here, or what should I be doing? So you are saying that, starting a year ago, you started building this kind of a service and mindset to be that trusted advisor for these customers of yours. So what are some of those things that, I know some of those are might be confidential, but some of those things that you kind of, how do you train your team to become that advisors? Like, what are those initiatives, or how do you make your people get ready to serve these customers?
That's maybe the hardest part. I mean, setting up a team, being capable of understanding what everything is about, that's one thing. So you can hire smart people and they will know what it's all about, and they will start
Right.
creating offers and they will help your customers. I mean, the first thing is you need an offer where you can help customers exploring, really getting the feet on ground and exploring what it's about and where to look, and do I need to deploy something, or do I need to run Copilot? What do Just a bit of leadership for your customers. I mean, we do have smart people and we have a huge offering now, and that's okay. But the other part is you have to do the same inside your company. And yes, that's what even the salespeople. How do you
Right.
train common salespeople to understand what AI is about and what your offering is about, and how could they go out then and explain to their customers? And our decision was not yet sure everybody has pilot, but one of the first decisions was, hey, let's set up something in our data centers. Let's run a huge stack, deploy models, and create something. We call it a company AI agent because that's our brand, Company Cloud. And we built our own AI stack with different models. So everybody in the company is pushed to use it. And there's like customer has some requirements, like 50 pages of requirements. Look, take it, drop here. It's a local deployed model, so no problem in analyze. Let the model create a short document where you could understand whether this is something we want to bid or not, for example. So we're always working on use cases and using our local entity of AI, so we don't run in any data issues, privacy issues, or sending
No, that's
customer
fantastic.
information.
So what you are saying is, you you initiated this AI running locally for your own company first, and that way you can propose the similar solutions to your end customers as well. So you're kind of dog fooding it, and your entire management and the leadership, in they are kind of evangelizing the way to use AI to use these locally deployed models. That's great. I think that's the best way to test out the services, right? Because you, as a media line, you have bigger, number of employees who can try these things out. And how do you say the success of it, or what types of initial, mindsets that you have to overcome?
Yeah, I mean, look at these salespeople are talking about what they're doing. They love to talk
Right.
about what they understand, and if they're doing something daily, then it's easy for them
Yeah.
to go out, talk to the customer about, hey, I know about AI. I'm using it and I'm doing that, and are you using OpenAI? No, we have locally deployed. Oh, that's interesting because I had some concerns about the privacy or confidentiality. Can you do the same for me? Yeah, sure. You jump on tenant environment in our data center, or we can deploy it locally for you. That's just two things that you have to put in their minds, and they can easily talk about it. I mean,
Yeah, what are the best ways you can have, this is the best way to have them actually, experience it, so now they don't have to read about stuff. They are just, like you said, that's a fantastic way to train people, because now they're just talking about what they did, or what they have been doing. And I think that that's a great thing.
And it's a matter of mindset. So you could tell people, don't use AI because I want you to work hard, not smart.
Yeah.
Right? And for us, it's like, hey, please use any tool you can use and talk to me that you used it, because I want to learn from you what you can get
Mm,
out.
yeah,
And that you should have abilities open.
definitely. Your company is very open and kind of enabling people, because they're kind of encouraged to find the most optimal way to get something done, right? Like you said, you can say don't use AI, but then either if they don't use it, they are not going to be able to perform at the level of somebody who's able to use these tools, or B, they are going to use it anyway if they are smart. They are just not going to tell you, right?
You don't see the problems that are generated through using it. I mean, if you're using ChatGPT to create documents, there's hallucination and there's some things where you think, oh, no.
Yeah.
And if you're open about who created a document, you know where to look at and know if you can scan and see if there is any problem coming up from, which is okay if you know.
Very true. I think one of the sayings are about AI is AI going to replace people from the jobs? Basically, no, the AI is not going to replace the jobs, but people who know how to use AI are going to replace the jobs of people who doesn't know how to use AI, right? That is
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
how to look at this. So I think it's great that you guys are pioneering this, and making it comfortable, right? Making it comfortable for both the company as well as the employees to leverage AI, and you are advocating the same thing for the customers. So now it becomes like, hey, I'm telling you what I for my company implemented, so it resonates well with the customers. So that's great. It's a fantastic story. Did you have to invest a lot to have this the AI models running locally for your company, or do I have to purchase hundreds of NVIDIA beefy GPU, beefy servers for me to deploy for my company if I am one of those enterprises or small and medium businesses, or what would be the cost expectation for me to run this locally? Just an approximate. Is it like too much, or it's not that much?
I think if you're starting with it, you don't need like the hell of compute power. I think we even started without having any NVIDIA cards in there and just using compute power. And I mean, the models are getting smaller, so you will need less power maybe. It's not like we do invest and we do a lot of research, but it is not like you're going bankrupt if you're starting with it. For us, I mean, we're a service provider. So we can always leverage what we are building in our data center. If the stack is built in the right way, if it's multi-tenancy capable, then you could leverage your invest and you then start selling pieces of it.
Right. I think when customers read about Meta has spent, I don't know, billions of dollars, or Amazon has spent billions of dollars in acquiring NVIDIA GPUs and building this data center, it kind of gives a wrong notion that, hey,
Yeah.
if I want to run locally, I need multi-million dollars or billions of dollars worth of server. I think where, like you said, the difference between those type of investments versus what you need, the minimum thing that you need to run an already created model in your local data center, or in a data center like media line owned data centers, you don't need that much GPUs. I think that's something where people do not get it if they are not at the engineering side of things. Like you mentioned, you can run models locally just on a laptop as well. There are models that are small enough to fit even in a laptop. And just to get the type of scenario you mentioned, where you have certain document, you give it to ChatGPT type of thing that's running locally and get some insights out of it or get it summarized. You can do it with just run of the mill, servers or laptops even. I think that is something, it is not very much understood by many people. I think it's kind of making it as our mission to kind of bring this to all the customers that we interact with. Hey, with a click of a button, you can have your own AI model running and the data is not shared with anyone. That's going to be a game changer and going to help a lot of customers to leverage these technologies, and as well as don't have the fear of.
Exactly, yeah.
Great.
I mean, you're starting with the labs. You're trying to find use cases, and you're trying to figure out if these use cases are working. Later,
Right.
if you find a proper use case and hundreds of people are using it at the same time and uploading gigabytes of data at the same time, yes, you might have to invest, but then you found a use case where they benefit and you save money and time, so it's worth investing. You don't have to make the big step first. You can take a small step and then go from there. I mean, this is what service providing is about, helping people, getting their feet on
True.
ground and get a starting point. So make it easy for people.
Very true. So the more and more the platforms, tools, they get sophisticated, what do you see is the role in going forward for MSPs and CSPs and partners like you, uh, going forward? Because if I can go to Microsoft portal and do these purchases, how do you differentiate as a CSP or MSP in this future world where pretty much everything is so easy to do? So, what is the role of MSPs and CSPs going to be? You touched base a little bit about it. So, what would you suggest for the aspiring MSPs who want to grow and be relevant in this futuristic world?
I think we're not keeping this transactional business. It's not something we'll do in future, like isolated business, because our customers are, in best case, moving to business capabilities, end-to-end processes, and they don't want to tell you, I need M365 and a computer. They want to have like an onboarding process. And you need systems and you need to deliver something. You need to build like an interaction interface with your customers where they can put their business process, connect their business process. So if they tell you, I have a new hire, I need something, you will need to be able to connect all your systems you build around your services so you can expose like capabilities, like an endpoint for a business process. And I
Make
mean, the basics for that is that you're running systems like Hyper. Maybe in future we don't need the marketplace anymore, licenses, but you will have to connect different systems, maybe through AI. Maybe you're running an agentic framework. You have a Microsoft purchasing agent in your service provider company, and this agent knows where to go and what to book. And it is called by the onboarding agent, which is exposed as an onboarding API. So the customer onboarding sends you some information. The agent gets the information. You don't call like a REST API. Maybe it's more agent chat, whatever. You send text, and there's a name and function, and the agent can then go and purchase everything, bring it, let it deploy, and send it out. You know, connecting even your suppliers, not only Microsoft, but your hardware suppliers, for example.
And I think that, how far out do you think this world to become reality? You know, having these agents and stuff.
For me, we're going to have it tomorrow, but it's
You
maybe
want to have it tomorrow.
part of my role that I can see the future and think, yeah, it's here already. I guess there's a lot of basics we have to do first. So, like the digital transformation story, making data available, switching to systems that are open, that have APIs. So I would never have bought like any CSP software, everything through APIs. That's the main thing. And we know systems, we have a lot of legacy systems that are not capable, that are addressed through like databases, direct access to database, or you have like old school
Right.
web services. If you don't have done your homework first, and all these systems are addressable, and you kind of start having API gateway where you collect all these interfaces, all these APIs, then you don't need to think about agentic frameworks. So we're doing that for years now, all
Basically,
of us. I guess it will take some more years to be ready, but I think it's about small steps. It's like with AI, if you can find use cases, one business process after the next, and you just connect these and put another one, find another one, implement it. It will not be the big step. It will be small steps, but moving us where we need to go.
makes sense. So the taking the baby steps today, so that in few months, few couple of years, we can realize this agentic kind of processes working together. So in terms of the trends that the MSPs and CSPs should be watching out for, AI is obviously one of those trends. What other trends that you see in the near future that CSPs and MSPs should be looking for?
It's definitely automation.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lack of skills, and you can't hire enough people, so you can automate them. I mean, it's the same. You need APIs, obviously, to do that, but it's very important to stick to the automation part, because repeating things is nothing where you can take value out of. Need to find the sweet spots where you're really making money. Managed services still a thing. That's everything we are creating should be something that we are offering as a managed service, because it's the same for our customer.
Right.
Our customers don't have enough time to deal with all these things, and what's the worth? It's like, why should I take care of partner center APIs from Microsoft? What kind of value am I generating for Medialine if I know like 100% what the partner center APIs like, and how it's moving, where it's going? I'm not generating any value for my company. And the same is for our customers. If they are running a data center, what kind of value are they creating? So they will rely on us to have someone taking care of their basic IT systems, security. I mean, obviously, security is a huge thing, and you can't do all the security um, tasks, and understand what has to be done and keep up to it. You need partners where you can just rely on, can take care of your security infrastructure, or even not even running it. You know,
Right. So how do you ensure security and compliance with transforming the digital operations? What do you see as risks, and how do you ensure as a CSP and MSP you are, having a secured compliant processes?
I think there's a lot of governance Microsoft is helping you with, was necessary. I mean, we're doing security business. We have a lot of people taking care of customer equipment, customer infrastructures, hybrid infrastructures. And it's not only like the firewall, it's the governance, it's the whole thing. Find a way how you can deal with it, with everything around it. And that's maybe like having frameworks. But I guess it's not possible to have one security framework that fits to everybody. We're glad because we have a lot of knowledge in that space.
In that space with security and compliance?
Yeah.
One of the things that comes to my mind is, we talked about onboarding a user or an employee. I find it also the offboarding. When somebody leaves the company, how are you able to remove access to, it's not just one tool these days, right? You have like 100, a typical organization probably uses at least 30 software tools, Canva to Adobe to Microsoft, there are like, even for a company like ours, if we look at all these SaaS softwares that we are using, it's mind boggling. And multiply that with the number of employees that they come and go. How do you guys manage this? Because I'm kind of expecting your customers are expecting you to take care of these type of business processes as well, right?
Absolutely right. It's worse doing offboarding than onboarding, because if you're onboarding somebody, he will always complain that he does not have access and he needs access.
Right.
But if you offboard somebody, there's nobody's complaining. So you need
Hmm.
to have to make sure that you have a proper business process offboarding, which covers everything, maybe role based, so you know where to offboard. And on the other hand, try to find a way how you could reduce the number of necessary steps. So if you're trying to have like a central identity management with role-based access where you can just pull out the user and then it takes away, it's single sign-on. If you're offboarding from ServiceNow, from Salesforce, from HubSpot, whatever, it's easier if it's the user is managed centrally. But it would not every time work. So it's not like, okay, we're going to use Entra and we're using for single sign-on and we're offboarding him, and then you have like a dozen of applications which are not connected in any way and cannot leverage external identity providers. So you need to keep track. You need to have like systems helping you with these
Right.
processes.
Definitely, I think that's something where we believe, software and tools like Hyber can help set up that processes and kind of trigger various events to various SaaS marketplaces or other legacy systems where, hey, you click one button that offboard this user, and you are able to orchestrate what are those processes that needs to happen. Okay, unassign the license in Microsoft Partner Center, and then remove the access in GitHub, remove the access from, I don't know, Nvidia, some, run AI account, open AI account, there are. So we kind of believe that even as a software vendor tool, we will be successful if we are able to have Hyber or anybody building such platform to be able to help customers, businesses like Medialine, to serve their end customers business processes, to automate them as a whole, not just individual things. And offboarding has been a pain for me as a, a business owner. When I go and look at something like, man, that guy left the company 2 years ago, why is he still having access to one of those GitHub
Yeah,
repositories? Right. So definitely offboarding is a pain, and if you don't have a processes and tools set up properly, you can easily become non-compliant soon, right?
yeah,
For,
with Microsoft, for example. So if you can
right.
see there's a under usage of the purchased licenses, you could like raise a warning or whatever. But
Yep.
we're talking about AI. I mean, Cloud Azure is or Hybrid is built for hybrid management. We could think about setting up services, AI services, which our customers can purchase through AI, and maybe it's even user based. So you can buy like 10 users AI chat agent. And
Very true. And I think one is this type of user license assignment, the utilization. Like you said, Hyber already has these type of reports, dashboards where you can see unassigned licenses, and we generate, you can send emails for unassigned licenses. This also brings up this other point about the cloud spend, from the customers, right? Even for us as a company, it's super easy to have thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars just going unused cloud spend. It is unassigned licenses are one part, but then there are not just with O365, it's with a lot of subscriptions, and especially with cloud, Azure, AWS, GCP. Are you seeing this as a concern for your customers? How are you handling it?
I guess it's pretty manual. I mean, we see a lot of customers they are lacking tools to track what they're using, like asset management. SaaS to collect all this data and then try to combine it and to run it against your user base. I don't see too many tools being able of that. Or you have a bigger customer, they have different tool sets. I mean, we're dealing with a mid-sized business, maybe up to 5,000, 10,000 users. I think it's a matter oftentimes they're lacking software to track this. They wouldn't just know. And it's the same with Azure. They're trying to see the amount of the invoices and figure out if anything changes. If it suddenly goes up, then something might have happened. But it's hard to govern the usage in the cloud in Azure because to initiatives, tools, to whatever, most of the companies are still way beyond this point where they could really see who is generating which invoice.